What is up, everybody? It's Joe from JLW Games Garage with another cool video. We're talking again about Planet Coaster 2, and more specifically, more of what I think we might see in the Deep Dive 3 and the Next Frontier Unlock stream on the 25th, on Wednesday, next Wednesday. So we are set to have a deep dive of the management features coming to Planet Coaster 2, so we could see a lot of different things coming. I also did another video where I talked about where I think we'll see more weather and how weather is going to be managed in your park as well, because it is going to be a big management part. So with that being said, what's another thing that we could see with management? And it's something that I think everyone's been requesting for. If it is going to happen, I think it will happen in this deep dive, and that is transfer tracks. Being able to add and remove trains off of your coasters if you have multiple units. So as we all know, there is some interesting things with the Coaster Builder, also including the tab that actually has is actually specifically for stations. Now, this is kind of interesting and kind of suspicious, because everyone keeps thinking, why do we need our own tabs for stations? Because in Planet Coaster 1, it's just a utility piece. Like, it's just, it's not anything special. In other words, it doesn't require its own tab. Now, some people think that this might be because that there's more that Frontier is hiding that could be coming soon, and that could include transfer tracks for adding and removing vehicles, and also having unload stations as well. So could we be seeing a lot more options for our stations, or just in general, like you could go to the station tab and you'll be able to do a transfer track and also do different station types. So like a load and an unload station. So if you do a load station, you do that option, you have to do 2 stations. And could we see different options for stations, such as different platforms or no platforms at all? Maybe the list is so big of what we can do with our stations and transfer tracks. Maybe that's the reason that we have our own tab for that now, because it does seem odd, because all there is just for different options for what kind of stations you can do. Enter one side, exit one side, and or you can exit and enter on the same sides, which is what it was in Planet Coaster 1. So, but could we see something a little bit different than that? As in, where we get an option for a load and unload station, where you have to place more than one station. One for loading, one for unloading, and then obviously, I think another thing that would fit in that category would be transfer tracks as well. For transferring your trains on and off. Now, with the talk of transfer tracks, I would love to see it also included as one of the special track types, as well, track pieces as well, that can actually be a part of the ride experience as well. Not many coasters, I think, have transfer tracks as part of the ride experience, but I think when it comes to transfer tracks for maintenance, obviously, pretty much every coaster has. So, and maybe having different types of transfer tracks, such as the one that slides over, but also the ones that also have the switch tracks as well, which we already know we have switch tracks in the game, so it wouldn't be too hard to maybe animate something like that. But when it comes to the management side of things, you might have to figure out if you want to run 1 or 2 trains based on your attendance, because if you have less attendance, it costs more to run multiple trains. So, it would make sense to just run 1 train and cut the costs of the running of the ride, so that you could actually save money in that regard. But if it gets busy, you might want to add a 2nd train. That way you can satisfy your guests and have a better park rating. And obviously keep your queue times down a little bit. So that all goes into management and different management features. Now, we also need to remember that time has been slowed down tremendously in Planet Coaster 2. Time works differently. It's not like every few seconds is just a day anymore. You don't go through the months you can't go through a month within a few minutes. Like, literally will take hours to get through in a single day. Or it takes probably close to an hour to get through a single day in Planet Coaster 2, or more, roughly. I think each minute in the game is about roughly 15 to 20 seconds or so for each minute. So you can see that it's not quite real time, but it's actually very much slowed down as compared to Planet Coaster 2. So that is a huge difference. So I think this is a huge factor of what we can expect, because we'll probably see the park get slower towards the closer to closing time. We'll also see the park get busier at opening time. So that's something to kind of note when it comes to your parks and managing your parks, because I think there's a lot more management stuff that we haven't seen, and there's still more surprises to come. And Frontier has listened to the community so much for this game that I couldn't. If we don't have transfer tracks, I would actually be a little bit surprised. Could come into a later update, because we are going to have years of updates on this game. So that's something to remember as well. We're going to have DLC, free updates probably, and all those. I mean, we're already getting a ride pack at the very beginning with the deluxe edition, and I'm sure you'll probably be able to purchase that afterwards, and everything. But it's something to note that we might... that the management in this game is going to be way more overhauled, and it just kind of makes you think, like, when your park does close, are you going to have downtime where you can actually do stuff? Probably not to that extent, but you never know. It's just kind of a thing to discuss at this point, and I feel like the way that time is set up now makes more sense to be able to do transfer tracks and everything. So it kind of fits in the way it works, the way time works now in the game, because now the days are much longer and you can actually manage that aspect a lot better. We have to do water filtration, we have to supply power to our rides and facilities, so that's already all there now. Why not add more management features to make it feel like you're actually running a real theme park, and in general, and you have to manage all these things as the management for the park. So but it's just kind of something to think about, that we might actually be getting this. And I feel like if it's going to be in any deep dive, I feel like management would make the most sense, and I feel like there's a lot to be announced. Now, we've seen early builds of the game. That's not the final those aren't the final builds of the game, so there's still more features and more content that I think that are going to be in the game that still hasn't been revealed. I think we have more coaster types we haven't seen that might be in the game, more flat rides potentially, but in those alpha builds that all the content creators got to play, besides me, everyone, there was like 50 coasters and like about 30 flat rides already. So I feel like there could potentially be more than that in the final release as well. We're still well over a month away from release, and we haven't even gotten to a beta stage yet. So I'd imagine beta will probably be sometime in October, which will be, beta is basically the last stage before release. So it would be nice if they do have like an open beta, or maybe even a closed beta for more content creators. That would be awesome, where we can get our hands on the game potentially before the game releases and report any bugs and changes that we would like to see into the game, because there's still a lot of stuff that we want to see change. Like, there's some gripes about the UI that I think Frontier will look at it, especially since some of the bigger content creators are talking about it, and they've also gotten that feedback from them already. Those bigger content creators have been contacting Frontier about some of the UI issues and everything. I think that's the mainly biggest negative that the game has gotten, mostly because the game is built to work on console as well. I do hope they make a few changes on the PC version, so the PC version just works a little bit more fluidly and we don't have to worry about all that. So that's just the hope, though. I did also notice some stuff with the flumes. Just a side note here is that because I was wondering if there's going to be water coasters, like water coasters, say like Holiday World has 3 of them, and the Splash and Safari, I was curious if we're going to get water coasters in the game, but it looks like with some of the flumes, you actually can propel. They actually have little launch sections. I saw this in one of the creator streams that actually did test this. You actually can propel those upwards. So I wanted to mention that just because I'm not sure if that warrants for an entire video, but anyways, but I want to hear what you guys think about what we're going to get in the management deep dive coming next week on Wednesday. So I'll definitely be doing a reaction to it, live stream reaction like I always do, and you guys can watch my reaction there. We will go live. I think it's usually at noon, my time anyways, Central. So, but thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know in the comments section if you think transfer tracks could be involved in the management deep dive or not, and what surprises do you think Frontier has for us. So I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe for more amazing content like this, guys. Hit that join button if you'd like to watch my content early, because if you join and become a member, you will have access to my videos early. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks and goodbye.